So what does the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade today mean for us here in California? 23 ABC's Callan Hodman takes an in-depth look at why we're not going to necessarily see changes here at home.
Abortion laws vary state by state, but California stands out.
I think it's clear to the fact that California is not going to be passing any kinds of laws that are going to restrict access to abortion care or reproductive rights.
Really, it's the opposite. Right now in California, the right to an abortion is guaranteed in statute and the state constitution. If the fetus cannot survive outside the womb, a pregnant person can get an abortion for any reason. Once a fetus can survive outside the womb, a person can get an abortion if continuing the pregnancy threatens their life or health. The cost of abortion is covered for lower-income Californians on Medi-Cal, and private insurance is required to cover it. Waiting periods and parental consent are not required. And while medical professionals can refuse to perform an abortion, the patient can then ask for another provider. Only religious, nonprofit hospitals and clinics can have blanket bans, and it doesn't stop there. Political analyst Ivy Cargile says Governor Gavin Newsom is currently working with state legislature to create better infrastructure when it comes to accessing abortions in California,
so that people here within the state, as well as people who are coming from other more restrictive states, have the access that they need. California is trying to become one of those states where the access to this vital healthcare is available to everyone that needs it.
In 1969, 4 years before Roe v. Wade, California recognized the right to procreative choice under the state constitution. It was amended to include an explicit protection for privacy, which has been interpreted as protecting the right to abortions. Governor Newsom showed his support for abortion rights after the Supreme Court draft opinion leak in May. He has since announced SCA 10, which would make abortion an explicit, fundamental right under the state constitution. The amendment needs a two-thirds majority vote of both the Senate and Assembly by June 30th to be placed on the November 2022 ballot.
The laws here will protect reproductive rights, reproductive freedoms. We're mindful that people will travel across this country from those states that have triggers that will move in a completely different direction, 25, 26 or so states. And we are looking at ways to support that inevitability and looking at ways to expand our protections legally and otherwise.
Meanwhile, in January, Congressman Kevin McCarthy released a statement saying in part, quote, "America was founded on the proposition that all men are created equal, not born equal, created equal. Unborn children deserve equal protection under the law. Our work is far from done, but we will always fight to save as many children as possible," end quote. The State Legislative Women's Caucus has also introduced a 13-bill package to make abortion even more accessible while further protecting patient and provider rights.
The idea is really to enshrine within California law, right, that people will be taken care of in the state.
Cargile says we should know more on if these bills will pass by the fall. Meanwhile, the 2022-23 state budget proposals currently being negotiated by the legislature and Newsom also prioritize more than $125 million for a range of reproductive health allocations.
The executive branch and the legislative branch of the state are working together in order to make sure that there is more funding that has been allocated in the past for purposes of making sure that the clinics that are already there have all the resources that they need. If more clinics need to be built, well, then so be it.
Starting in 2023, all abortion-related services in California will be free. A new law prohibits insurance companies from imposing deductibles, co-payments, or other cost sharing upon an individual seeking an abortion. Just one of the many ways California is ensuring abortions are possible in the Golden State.
Cargile says this decision could shape the way that politicians campaign leading up to the election in November, and it could change voters' mind when it comes to selecting certain positions. We will, of course, continue to bring you coverage as we near that election in the fall. In studio, Callan Hodman, 23 ABC, connecting you.